So now if I talk about the subnetting is the procedure or is a practice to divide networks into two or more smaller networks. Okay. Let's say I told you the default classes like class A, class B, and class C. The class A private address range was something like this, right? 10.255. For class B, it is 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255. Then for class C, it was 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.255.255. Now for these different classes, we have default subnet mask also, like this 255.0.0.0, 255.255.0.0, and 255.255.0. So these subnet mask bits, or you can say these subnet mask can be identified with the help of CIDR value also, right? Classless interdomain routing. It is a method of IP address assignment. Okay, it was introduced in 1993 by IETF, and it defines the subnet mask bits actually. To deal with IPv4 exhaustion problem, we use different CIDR values, right? To save IPv4 address space, we use to divide. We use these. You can say we divide these network addresses so that we can use them according to our requirement. Okay. So when it comes to public IP addresses, if you are not, you can say using subnetting, or if you are not dividing a big network into small networks, then it will be a problem, right? So it will slow down the growth of routing tables on the internet routers also. Okay, because routing tables will be very big in that case. So here we can say that when we want to divide any big network into two or more small networks, then we have to perform subnetting for that. Okay, and CIDR value is the, you can say, decimal representation, or you can say the slash notation for any subnet mask. Okay, like if I talk about for class A, CIDR value will be /8, default CIDR value. It will be /16 and it will be /24. And when you are going to use subnetting, you are going to lose the class, right? Let's say this is 10.0.0.0 and you are using /8. So, or you can say you are using subnet mask 255.255 dot, sorry, dot 0.0. You are using this subnet mask. So it is a class full network address, right? Because you are using class A network address and the class A default subnet mask, and you only using this first octet. So this is a class full network address. Now if I am defining this type of network address, so it is a classless because we are using class A network address, but subnet mask does not belong to class A, right? So it is a different class, you can say. So it is called classless address. Now to define the subnet mask for classless networks, here you can use CIDR value like this, okay? Or if you are using any other subnet, you can use this one. It is also classless, okay? Clear. So you can define the subnet mask bits using CIDR value also if the network address is classless. Otherwise, for default class, you can say if the class A network address is written and you are using class A subnet mask also, then the address is called class full address, right? And when you are using a different subnet mask bits, then it is called classless address. Now, why we use subnetting in the network? So basically, you can write it like this: subnetting is used to divide a big network or a network into two or more small networks so that we can reduce the size of broadcast domain, so that we can reduce the size of broadcast domain. Because if you are using a big network, then your broadcast domain size will be very big, right? So we can reduce it using subnetting. You can use you can say you can use different network addresses in different segments of your network. You don't need to use same network addresses. Okay. Other than this, it increases network security. It increases network security because if you are connecting all the endpoints in same network, they will be able to communicate with each other, right, without any restriction. Okay, because all the hosts are connected in the same broadcast domain. So a broadcast sent by one device on the network will be processed by all the hosts, creating lots of unnecessary traffic. So it will, you can say, it will reduce the size of broadcast domain. On the other hand, it will increase network security. Now within that broadcast domain, all the devices will be able to communicate with each other, and which can present a security problem, right? So we can do one thing, we can assign different network addresses in the endpoints connecting in the different segments. Okay, so it increases network security because different network users will not be able to communicate with each other directly via switch. Okay, we have to perform inter-VLAN routing kind of thing so that they can communicate with each other. So it increases network security by assigning, or you can say by grouping same type of users together within same network, right? You can, let's say you want to divide your segments into two parts. Let's say you have 10 users in your network and you want to assign 5 users for HR and you want to assign 5 users for sales. So what you can do, if you are using same network IP addresses on them, then on uplink firewalls, if you want to create some policies to restrict user access, okay, or if you want to allow some of the traffic for specific users only, then these policies will not be more granular, right? So what we can do, we can assign them in different networks, or we can create segments in the network so that we can easily identify the different segments users on the firewall so that we can enforce some policies, right? So policy will be more granular if you are using different networks in multiple segments. Okay. These are the uses of subnetting, and it will also save IPv4 address space. Many addresses will not be wasted, right? Now, when you are going to perform subnetting, you need to find out some of the component, right? First of all, network address. This network address is the first address of any network which is unusable. It is used to represent that network, or if you want to identify the network, you will check its network address, right? Just to identify that. So it is unusable. We don't configure it. Okay, we don't configure it on the endpoints or on the devices. It will be unusable. First address of any network. Then we have broadcast address. This is the last address of any network address. It is also unusable. Okay. It defines when the broadcast, or you can say where the broadcast domain is being end. Okay. This is the last address of any network and it is also unusable. After that, we have block size. Block size, see, this is the first address. Let me write here for network address. First, unusable address. Okay, used to identify it. It is unusable. Okay, means it will not be assigned. Broadcast address, this is last address of any network, defines where network ends. Okay. Block size, total amount of addresses in a network, including network address and the broadcast address. Then number of hosts. For number of hosts, sorry, we use a formula to the power n minus 2. Okay, and n is equal to number of zeros or available bits. Number of zeros. Okay, then we have number of subnet. It is 2 to the power n. Number of subnet means, let's say if you have a network, for example, if you have a network 192.168.10.1, or 10.0 slash 18. Okay. So how many subnets, or you can say if you have this slash 24, so how many small subnets you can create out of this network? Okay. This is called number of subnets, means number of small networks which will be created from a network address. We will see them. And number of hosts means available or usable IP addresses. Okay. Usable number of hosts means the IP addresses which are usable. They can be assigned on any endpoint. Okay. It is like this. Other than this, we need subnet mask. And I told you about the subnet mask also. It is used to identify network bits and host bits of any network address. Okay. So these things are required when you are going to perform subnetting. So for class A, class B, class C, if I want to know number of hosts, I think yesterday I told you this thing. For class A, it will be 2 to the power 24 minus 2, right? Because in class A, the default, let's say I am using this 10.0.0 slash 255.0.0.0. So what will be the number of hosts? 2 to the power n minus 2, n is equal to number of zeros, right? So it will be very big value something. Okay, you can calculate it. For class B, it will be 2 to the power 16. If you take any network address of class B and its subnet mask is 0.0, it means these two octets are available, and I told you in one octet we have 8 bits, right? In one octet we have 8 bits, and here 2 octets are available. It means 16 bits are available. So when you are going to find out number of hosts, you will put this number of bits here, number of zeros, 2 to the power 16 minus 2. It will be 65534. And if I talk about class C, if I take any network address of class C, then it will be 2 to the power 8 minus 2. Because for class C, you can take any network address. Okay, so it will be 255.255.0, 254. To the power 8 means 256. Clear? So this is how we can calculate number of hosts. I will show you many examples. Okay. Now, if I want to perform subnetting, let's say if there is any requirement that we need to assign IP address on 30 host. Okay, so which network address you would prefer? Which class network address? Yes, from class C, right? From class C, you can pick any network address according to your guidelines. You can say whatever the things are defined. 10.0. But here, if you are taking its default subnet mask, which is slash 24, then you will get how many IP addresses? 254,
4.
right?
So we can do CIDR right here.
Yes, you can use CIDR to define subnet mask. That is called subnetting, right? Here, if you are defining this slash 24, it means it is 255.255.255.0.
Right.
Okay, so now you need to break this network into small subnets to define IP addresses for these required hosts, right? So how will you do this? Here we have this default network, right? We cannot use this slash 24 right now because we need only 30 hosts. If you are using slash 24, then it will be around 254 hosts, but we don't need that much, right? So we need to perform subnetting for this, right? So for 30 hosts, how many bits you need to use? We have this last octet available by default. You can open it here.
Last 5 digits.
These bits will be available bits, right?
Yes.
And here we will use these, you can say borrow these 3 bits here. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a default. Why we are doing it? Because we have only last octet available. If you check, it's a default subnet mask. It is 255.255.255.0. So only last octet is available. You will make changes in last octet only. These are 8 bits. Now I need 30 hosts, right? So what is the formula for number of hosts? You can use this one, to the power n minus 2. So to
Yes.
get the 30 host, how many bits you need to make available? Because here you will select number of zeros, number of available bits. So if you take 2 to the power 5 minus 2, then you will get 30, right?
Correct.
Then you will get 30. So here you need to make how many bits available? These five bits. Okay, these are your host bits. Okay, and these bits will be used in network. Means these bits will be 1. And here we have this subnet mask already 255.255.255, and you will borrow these 3 bits, you will use these 3 bits also, right? Are you getting this? How will you calculate subnet mask for this requirement? Because after calculating the subnet mask, you will be able to define many other things. Okay, like you will get the block size, you will be able to define network addresses, number of subnets, everything. Okay, so I am just opening last bits, and I need to use these 3 bits more. Then I will get a network address in which I can connect 30 hosts. So here you can calculate them. The value is like this: 1, 2, 4, 32. Sorry,
8.
8.
16.
it will be 8, not 32. 16. Now this is 32. Then 64. Then 128. Okay. So here when you will calculate number of hosts, you will use or you will make available 5 bits. Number of subnets, if I talk about how many subnets will be created from this network, which will provide you 30 hosts each to the power n, and n is equal to number of 1. Okay, here n is equal to number of used bits, number of 1. So here we have these 3. So to the power 3. How many subnets will be created? 8. Okay, number of subnets will be 8. Clear? Network address, if you need, let's say now 4 subnets will be created. It will be like this. Before this, you can also calculate subnet mask. Okay. Before going to the subnets, you can calculate subnet mask. What would be the subnet mask for this network address, which will provide you 30 hosts only? 255, 255, 255. Now, in this subnet mask, I told you that we define network bits and host bits. So these are already used bits or previously used bits, pre-used bits. And now we have these more 3 bits used, right? So you will add these 3 values, okay? It will be
24.
2 to 4, right? Yes.
Yeah. Plus 27.
Yes, slash 27. You can put it in slash 27. Okay. Now you will get 30 hosts from this network address. Okay. You will get 30 hosts from this network address, and you will be able to create 8 subnets like this. So you can start it from subnet 0 slash 27, right? And then 192.168.10.31. It will be its broadcast ID. This is broadcast ID, this is network ID, right? What will be its, this is subnet 0. It will start from subnet 0. Then you will define subnet 1. Subnet 1 will be 192.168.10.32 slash 27. This is network ID. Because your block size, what is the block size? Block size will be 256 minus last octet value of subnet mask. Last used octet with value. Okay, this one is used octet, right? So 256 minus 224, it will be 32, right? Block size will be 32. So this is subnet 1 from 10.0 to 10.31. Then you need to put subnet 2 192.168.10.63 slash 27. This is broadcast ID. These two addresses are unusable, right? Like this, you can open it up to subnet 8. This one is 1, then subnet 2, subnet 3, subnet 3, subnet 4, like this. Okay, this is how you can create different small networks from a big network. Okay, we have calculated network address, broadcast address, subnet mask, number of subnet, number of host, block size, everything, right? Okay, now in subnetting, anyone can give you a requirement like this also. For example, we have a network address 192. You can take any network address, okay? 192.1.11.0 slash slash 24, and here it is asking that I need 29 subnets. You need to create 29 subnets of this network address, and you need to tell me subnet mask for that, right? You need to tell me block size. Then you need to tell me first host address of subnet 1. These types of questions will be there in subnetting. They will give you a network address like this. They will ask, we require 29 subnets from this. Tell me the subnet mask, block size, first host address of subnet 1, network address, these things. Okay. Otherwise, they can give you a requirement directly that we need 1,000 host IP configuration. I need to put a single network over there, and you can say IP address should not be wasted, something like this. Then you cannot use B class network address directly. You have to create a small subnet of that, right? And then you will be able to get a subnet where you can connect 1,000 host or approximately 1,000 host. Okay. Clear. Now this is the network address, and here it is asking 29 subnets required. So now you have to check that by default how many bits are given? 24. They are used bits, right? So we have only 8 bits available. It is less 24 for now. Okay. We have only 8 bits available. Now it is asking for 29 subnets. So how many number of bits you need to use from the next octet, right? Based on that, you will be able to define subnet mask, block size, and other things. So for the number of subnet, we need this formula to the power n. So you can say to the power 5 will give you 29 subnets, I think, 32 subnets. Yes, to the power 5. So here you can open this last octet, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 1 to 8. Now it is asking for 29 subnets. So you can use these 5 bits from the beginning. These will be 1. Okay, these all bits will be 1. So number of subnets you can get 32. You will not get exact number of subnets here, right? To the power n, it will be 2 to the power 5, 32 subnets. You can use 29 or 30, whatever it is, 29 subnets, and you can make others in a spare, right? Whenever your network grows or you are going to connect more endpoints in the network, you can use them as well. After that, number of subnets we require 29. So we can say that we will use these 5 bits, and these 3 bits are available. So number of hosts you can calculate per subnet. It will be 2 to the power 3 minus 2. These 0 bits. These are host bits, and these are network bits. So it will be 8 minus 2. It will be 6. Okay, number of hosts will be 6. In one subnet, you will get 6 IP addresses, 6 number of hosts. Block size. So before block size, you can define subnet mask. 256 minus. Okay, I was defining subnet mask first. Wait. because block size will be calculated after getting the subnet mask. So here 748, 248, okay, it will be the subnet mask. Use 255.255. Let me write it full. Dot 255.248. Okay, when you need 29 subnets, and after that block size will be 256 minus 248. It will be 8. Now in one subnet you have 8 overall addresses, in which one network address will be there and one broadcast address will be there, right? So here you can open from subnet 0. You can write it like this: 1.11.0/24 192.1.11.7, because block size is 8/24. This is network address. This is broadcast address of subnet 0, right? Then you will write subnet 1 1.11.8/24. Then this is network address, and 192.1.11.15. This is broadcast address. You will add block size. Okay. This is unusable. So this is subnet 1, and it was asked first usable host address. It is unusable, it is unusable. So what will be the IP address which is usable in subnet 1? First IP address, first host address, 11.9/24, right? This is the first usable address.
How to calculate the number of subnets again? Like, little
Okay.
confusion there.
Okay, no problem. See, number of subnets will be defined by the used bits. Okay, by the used bits means the bits that you are going to make one. Okay, like here, if I talk about this only, then let me show you again. Here, if I talk about number of subnets, how will you define? Let's say this was the address 11.0/24, and I said 29 subnets required. Then you know that its subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0 according to its CIDR value, right? Then you have this last octet only. You can make changes in this last octet. So you will open this here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you know that you require 29 subnets, right? So you need to check from the last octet how many bits I can make one, because for number of subnets, what is the formula? 2 to the power n, and n is equal to number of 1.
Yeah.
So right now your default, you can say the given subnet mask was /24. So here we are going to use how many bits? 5 bits.
Mm-hmm.
Then you will get 32. It will not give you 29 exactly. Okay. It
Yes.
will give you 32, like approximate value. So you can use these 5 bits. These bits are called network bits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yes.
these bits are host bits, or these bits are called available bits. These bits will be used when we calculate number of hosts, and network bits will be used when we calculate number of subnet, number of network, okay, subnetwork, you can say. Okay,
Got it.
so
Got it.
this one is 2 to the power n, so 2 to the power 5 will be 32, and for this is number of subnet, right?
Okay. And if
And for
a
number of
question comes
host,
like I need 8 hosts, I mean 6 hosts, right? Then I will
yes,
go for the last 3 hosts.
yes, for the last bits which you can make available, right,
Yes, and the rest one will be converted into network.
into one,
It
and
will
they
give
will be
the
network
number of
bits.
subnets that can be created.
Yes, number of subnets. They will define number of subnets, how many number of subnets can be created. Yes. Okay, now let's do some exercise over the internet. You will find many of the quiz and subnetting questions. Okay. You just need to understand the concept first, and after that, you will have a lot of exercises. There will be some, you can say, quiz kind of questions like this. Here it is given 188.202.0.0, and how many subnets required? 88. What are the subnet mask? First available host address of subnet 1 and the maximum number of hosts per subnet, or for this network below. This is the address. So let's take this address and let's calculate it. It is which class address? 188.202.0.0.
B class.
Which class?
B.
B.
Yes, B class address, right? 0.0. And how many subnets are required? 88. Now, here how many bits are available? If I talk about the default subnet mask, what will be its default subnet mask? Less 16, right?
Yes.
16.
So we have 16 bits available and we need to get 88 subnets. So its default subnet mask will be something like this, but we don't need this much of available host, right? We need 88 small subnets from this big network. So how can you calculate number of subnets? I told you the formula, number of subnet to the power n. N is equal to number of ones. Now you need to calculate that after how many bits I can get 88 subnets. You need to do 2 to the power always. Okay.
So it will be
So you will get it 7.
to the power 7.
Right? 2 to the power 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have these two octets. Network bits will be your most left bits. Okay. Always. These are your network bits. You will use these 7 bits here. These are network bits. These are all host bits. So number of subnet will be 2 to the power 7. It will be 128, in which 88 can be used. Okay. Number of host, it is for subnet. Number of host
5 1.
2 to the power n minus 2, right? So 2 to the power 9 minus 2. It will be 5, 10. Okay. Subnet mask
255
dot
dot
254, right?
254 dot
Not 0. Any doubt? Here we can put 255.255.254.0. Okay, first available host address. It is 510. And let's calculate first available host address of subnet 1. I think, yes, of subnet 1, not subnet 0. So first available host address will be, first of all, you need to write its network address slash,
23.
yes, 23. Okay, this is network address of subnet 0. Then 188 dot, what is the block size?
Block size 512, right?
Block size, no, it cannot be 512. I knew that you will add 2 in this. It will not be 512. You have to divide it from like this. Okay, I am not talking about subnet size. Okay, these are the all possible hosts, all the amount of IP addresses in that subnet. I am talking about this subnet 0 block size, right? So block size will be 256 minus 254.
And
2. It is a B class address. First of all, you will fill this bit, then you will move to C class,
can you
right?
please explain the logic behind that block size calculation?
See, block size depends on this block only. So what can be the maximum block size for an octet?
256.
256, right? It cannot be more than 256. That's why always when you are going to put block size, you will divide the last used octet of the subnet mask. You
Oh,
will
okay. Because
minus.
since it is like the last, like the third
Yes,
octet last digit we are using,
yes, yes,
therefore we are subtracting 2, right? If it would have been
yes.
like the second last, we would have subtracted 4.
4.
Okay, got it.
But for now, this is 256 minus 254, it will be 2, right? Because total block size is 256. It can never be more than 256 in a block.
Okay, got it.
So here it is 2 only. So 202.1.255. It will be its broadcast ID, right?
Yes.
Because block size is 2, this is subnet 0. After this, network address 202.2.0/23. This is network address of subnet 1, and broadcast address will be 202.3.255. This is broadcast address. This is subnet 1, and we need to find out the first host address, right?
So it will be
Of subnet 1, 2.1.
188.2, yeah, 2.1.
Right? Now let's put this here, 188.202.2.1. Check answer. Okay, they are correct. Now you guys need to do this 118.0.0.0, and you need 76 subnets. Let me write the IP address 118.0.0.0, and how many subnets are required? 76. Now you need to perform this. Okay, you need to calculate the same thing: subnet mask, first available host address of subnet 1, and maximum number of hosts.
Yeah.
This is the network address.
Since it is 76, again it will be /23. Yeah.
How?
Yes.
Which class
Plus
address it is?
it is B. Sorry. A. Sorry. A.
So it will not be 23, right?
Yes. /15.
Yes, it will be like this. Its default subnet mask is 255.0.0, right? Now we need 76 subnets. So how many bits you have to use? You need to use. You need to use around seven
7.
bits, right?
Yes.
7.
So you can open these last 3 octets. You have these 3 octets available now. .0.0. They are available. Okay. So here you need to use these 7 bits. Okay.
/15.
It will be /15. Yes. Then subnet mask will be
255.254.
255.254.0.0, right?
Yes.
Number of hosts to the power 17
15
minus 1. 17 minus 2, sorry.
minus 2.
It will be 65535 into 65535. What will be the value? To the power 16 is called 65535, right? Let me do it. Okay. If you can find out the value, then let me know. 2 to the power 17 minus 2. The value will be 131,070. Okay.
Yes.
Clear. Now, first available host address of the subnet. Subnet 1. So let's write it like this. /15. This is the network address of subnet 0. What will be the block size?
2.
Block size will be 2 again, right? So 118.2.255.255, right? This is broadcast ID. Then
Uh,
118.3.0.0/15.
I think it's
118.4.
Will be
118
1.255.
1.255.
Yeah.
Okay, this
The
one,
first
right?
subnet broadcast.
Yes. 2, then 3/15. This is network address and this is broadcast address. So the first usable address will be 1.1. Right? 255.254.0. First available host 118.2.1.1, and maximum number host
2. I think
070.
the first of subnet 1 or subnet 0.
Subnet 0. It will be 0.1, right? Not 1.1. It was asking for subnet 1. Okay.
Okay.
It will be 118.2.0.
The subnet one will be the first one, right? That
No. It is
118.0.
subnet 0. It is subnet 0.
And that is also not usable, right? We cannot use that.
Yes. Yes. We don't use it. It is subnet 1. So that's why it will always ask first host address or first usable address of subnet 1. Okay, it will be 2.0.1. 118.2.0.1. Yes. Let's check this. It is correct, right? So I think you guys can do this, right? This is subnetting. If you want to do, you can do it. It is that it is not that much lengthy in calculation, right? Then I will show you different type of subnetting questions also. What are the subnet mask? First, available host address of subnet 1, not subnet 0, and the maximum number of hosts per subnet. This is the network address, and 18 subnets are required.
32.
What will be the subnet mask?
552.552.5.224.
Yes. Then number of hosts.
Number of hosts 3. It is 24. The remaining are 32, and the number of hosts will be 30. 30. I mean the usable host, right? And the number of hosts will be 32.
32.
Yeah.
How?
Because we are subtracting 224, right? Out of 256.
No. First of all, this subnet mask, change this. Okay, subnet mask is not correct.
It is 80.
Here we have 18, right? So we need to make how many bits? 1. 5 bits will be 1. It will be 248,
240.
right?
Yes.
And it will be 6. 2 to the power 3 minus 2.
56.
Because 3 host bits will be available, right? First available host in subnet 0. What will be the block size? 8. 0789194.191.52.9. This is the first valid host.
0 to 7 and
0 to 7, 8 will be the network ID of subnet 1, 9 will be the first usable host of subnet 1, right? Okay, now here you can see some different type of questions. Which two statements describe the IP address? 10.16.3.65/23. The lowest host address in subnet is 10.1.6.16. Okay. The last valid host address in this subnet 10.16.2.254. The broadcast address of subnet is 10.16.3.255. Try to do this, which one will be the correct or which two will be the correct. Okay, it is asking for which two statements are correct.
10.16.3. The first one is correct.
First one is correct. And it is asking which two statements are true. And here it is giving 3 options at the same time.
Yeah, like logically it is one. It should be 1 and 3. But I'm
Yes.
thinking what
No, which one is correct? Including the C and D also, they are also the objectives you can say.
No, I'm thinking like When it says the lowest host address, what does it mean? Does it mean the first one?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, then 1 is correct and 2 is correct because
yes.
if I see this falls under
It's
this
correct. C.
broadcast address. Yeah, the C is correct. Yeah, 1, 2,
Yes.
and 4.
To check the answer. B is correct. 2 and 4.
But first is not correct.
No, no, we don't need to select this one actually because they said which two statements only. And these options are including, I think, three statements. Right. This first one is not correct because this third option is wrong. Totally wrong.
Yeah, third
Okay.
is wrong.
So we got defeated in this thing, which two statements. That's why I was telling you that here it is including three statements, but it was also true. Okay. But they were asking only about two statements. So this B is correct. Otherwise, first is also correct. I think it is same 3.0. Yes. Okay, but they were asking only for two statements.
I'm not sure.
Yes. What is the maximum number of IP addresses that can be assigned to host on a local subnet that uses 2 to 4? Here it is asking for number of IP addresses that can be assigned using the subnet mask. So how many IP addresses will be there?
If it is 2 to 4, it should be 32. Yeah,
IP
30.
addresses 30.
30.
Right, D. These questions are easy, I think. If you would like to do 30 host IP address, which prefix you will use this one. Right, we have done this. Which one is class A address? You can identify, right? This one. These are very easy to do them. If you have any doubt in subnetting, you can ask me, okay? If there is any doubt in calculation or something.
Okay.
What is the broadcast address of this prefix? What will be the broadcast address?
It is 21.
23.255.
First one.
Okay, what will be the block size?
Block size will be 8.
8. Then it is 18.16. Which one you are telling? This first one.
Yeah, first one.
What is the decimal equivalent?
It
You
is
can calculate it, right?
yeah, 2, 8. It is 10, 10, and 64.
10,
74.
64, 74. Okay. What is the first usable host address of prefix? This one.
16.1.
Yes. It is an host ID, a host ID itself, right? IP address
Yeah,
is host ID.
yeah.
That's okay. This one is not correct. So what is this
You can
trying to
go
answer?
for A1, A1, AA, just in case.
Host ID. What?
Not sure what he's asking. Option B is out of subnet. Option C
Yes.
is option D is like a network address, right?
Network address.
And this is also
And it is
out of
out of
subnet.
yes.
So I think
This one
that's
is correct only.
so maybe host ID is just like a
Yes.
normal IP address.
Yeah, normal IP address only. So here, is this a network address or something? It is said IP prefix, maybe. Let's move. Many websites will write their own language, right? Here it is asking how many subnets and how many hosts in each subnets are there for network this. So what will be the number of subnets for this network? It is less 20.
How many hosts in each subnet are there?
Yes.
It's less 20. 51210. The number of hosts will be 409. Number of
409.
4.
Okay. and number of subnets. Number of subnets will be 2 to the power 12, to the power 12, not minus 2, to the power 12,
power
right? To 4096. Okay.
Okay.
So this is how we can perform subnetting. Okay. This is IP address written, and it is asking network address 229.67.98.73/29. What will be the network address for this IP? How will you calculate this thing? First of all, you need to calculate subnet mask, right? What will be
Yes.
the subnet mask? 24 plus 5, it means 248,
It is
right?
248. Yeah.
Block size will be 8, so it's network ID. You need to open your subnets till this IP address, right? So the network address, first network address will be 229.67.98. Here 0 to 7, 15, then 23, then 31, then you have to take
It will
39,
be 65.
54,
No, sorry.
71 or
71.
72 something. Right?
72.
72, I think.
63 plus 8, 72. Yeah. 72. 63 plus 8, 71.
First hope
72.
229.67.98.73. Last host 229.67.98.
79.
13.
3 plus 6, right?
No. Last host.
6,
Then you will do 3 plus 5. It will be 8.
78.
Oh, okay.
Block size is 8, right?
Yes, yes.
And this is last host address. Broadcast will be 79.
79.
Subnet mask 255.
255, 255.
255.
248.
Okay. Okay. So you can do these things, right? You can get this link also. I'm putting it in the chat. You will find many links. Okay, now we will discuss IPv6 after using some of the IPv4 addresses in our topology. You can say after routing when I will be going to start IP services. Before that, we will do IPv6. Okay.